Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why? I ask you why. All along I've only done what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow. I've never seen him this out of sorts. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident, and some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured you'd be telling about you this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why did you tell me about me? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in a case 2 years ago too then? He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why Deputy Chief of Police is on the investigation. In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. And let's see, this one. Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID cards usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room on that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that is true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that was wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was sold, right? It would have to be if the evidence had already been filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make note of it. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Everything is linked. Yes, this is Phoenix, right? Everything is linked. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Wright and I were using this. Luminal testing fluid, huh? Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really no need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprints, the fingerprints for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Yeah, it really does. So let's go into the guard station and into the evidence room. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. So, more touch gimmicks. Right, let's get started first. Choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose a finger that has been left by the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. There is one here, but we're gonna take this one first. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show how it's done. I must not to get all that sparkle in her eyes. First, sprinkle aluminum powder. Aluminium. I have... This is just irks me. It's aluminium. We're civilized here. Aluminium powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter, see? Just, So it's just like... Okay, good. I can, I don't have to blow into my microphone, so you are all spared from that joy. Ah, you did it! You found one! But it's not like a thing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left his handprints must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem like a shame. While we're at it, why would I look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. There's another one here. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Oh, come on. We have a very clear fingerprint here. There we go. Yay, a print! So clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Edgeworth. And point at the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint on the bloody handprint and the fingers on prints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably doesn't have anything to do with our case. So, whose fingerprints would we most likely find in this evidence locker? It's gonna be Gumshoe. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. This is the place we got the luminal fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, want to try using this? There goes her eye sparkling again. Let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will probably have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. So there's gonna be one here. Yep. Oh, come on. Okay, so actually nope. Ah. Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's handprints. The luminal reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a white bloodstain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess it's this what he called decisive evidence. I don't believe it. And now we go into the first day in court. Second day in court, but we will not finish court today. There are 2 parts to the court, and we will only do the first today. This case is huge, like seriously huge. Heck, I'm not even sure if we'll finish this first section today. Well, I will hope to, but hey, we'll see. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how did it go? It is as Mr. Wright suggests. The police are clueless. I figured so as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye, We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's a trump card I had up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? So here we're breaking the first law of evidence. Like, even though technically we unless like we actually have submitted that we have this to the police and gotten it approved. Tannenberg. Hello, Alex. Yeah, we're Felix White. We don't care about no stinking law. We have to play the cards we've dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. No, I am the Senate. Wait, wrong character. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not specifically possible, is it? What's more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe that the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now, that's what set Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what he's doing himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired in the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Brace yourselves. We're gonna be cross-examining Meekins. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Oh no. Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling me that you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone ever again, sir. You have to believe me, sir. Oh, actually, what I would like to hear from you, sir, I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of the greater generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for his lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see, then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense will begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Whiskey. Yeah, you're not the only one who dislikes Meekins, Farnwell. I think all of us dislike him for varying amounts of reasons. Oops. We don't need to know this. We can this. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! It's the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number is shown being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the blue badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything had settled down. I see. So it's during that second time then? When? Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. I actually haven't tried brandy. I mean, I have had both Scotch and like regular Irish whiskey, but I haven't tried brandy. I am partial to whiskey, though. Whiskey is good. And also, you can drink whiskey while you're on an LCHF diet, if you're so inclined. So, you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on like that, he looked as if he was surprised, like as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Bloody UK. Oh. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms around like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just keep your cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down just for an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to keep my eyes closed like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. That's not how it works. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew, yes, he punched me right in my face, sir. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report, the police officer that woke up the witness was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice, I mean, that's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around though, I made it my sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the blue badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. This is what he was telling us yesterday. We need to try to give more details from him. For starters, what was an officer from the General Affairs Department doing in there in the first place? Right, let's press him for all he's worth. Even the judge hates him. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Oh, gods, that's a terrifying thought. This guy is, like, head of recruiting? Head of hiring? I actually forgot about that detail, but wow. Yikes, that was a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which means many officers were given specific tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. That poor police department. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people wandering around. I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was this man murdered really the victim? He's got a good point. Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. Why would the chief deliver this to him while he's in a cell? The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That is quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm good at. Looks like a communication with the police. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well, then let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with this unsettling feeling stirring within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why, I'm not surprised this isn't going so smoothly. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Mr. Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. His face can't be seen clearly in that video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, He opened the locker with a